Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel where skincare is all about progression over perfection because perfection doesn't exist. Listen, I think for as long as I've been on YouTube for, I think every month someone launches a video where it's about pores and pore reduction, all that kind of stuff. And they're always really, really good. Through my 5 years or more, I don't know how long it's been, I've been on YouTube and testing products and techniques, viral techniques to help reduce the appearance of pores. I feel like I've actually figured out what genuinely works, and that's when it comes to the appearance of enlarged pores, caring for our pores in general, and preventing enlarged pores as well. So today, I want to share some no BS ways, tips, tricks, techniques that I've learned to help reduce the appearance of enlarged pores, long-term and short-term as well. Remember, I'm no skincare professional, so this is just like consumer advice, things that genuinely work for me. All the products in today's video you're going to find on stylekorean.com, the sponsor of today's video, an amazing online store where you can purchase all things K-beauty, from the most iconic K-beauty brands to brands you've probably never heard of as well. They sell K-pop and some Korean snacks as well. But one thing I always forget to say, they also have their time deals. There's a whole separate page on their website where they have up to 70% off on brands like Laneige, Neogen, Cosrx, Isntree, Etude House, all the big ones. So make sure you check that like almost daily if you want to get a real bargain. So pop over to stylekorean.com and do let me know if anything catches your eye. So let's start, and I'm going to finish on a slightly controversial product, but first of all, let's talk about cleansing. Really obvious. This is really for my like oily skinned people or people who get a very oily T-zone. That was the bane of my existence in my like early 20s. My oily skin somehow like magnified the look of my enlarged pores that were always blackheady, sebum-y, sebaceous filaments, very obvious on my nose as well. And I would use products like toners and cleansers to really strip all that oil away, and we all know this isn't how you should treat your oily skin. One of my most successful ways to control my oily skin was all about controlling it and like learning to live with it, you know, rather than battling it and trying to get rid of it completely. So to keep my pores looking smaller, tighter, and actually functioning properly as well and caring for them, don't strip but work with. And that's even when it comes down to cleansers. In fact, cleansers I feel like is one of the most important steps for oily skin. A non-stripping pH balanced cleanser is a must for people with oily skin. The majority of your skincare is going to be pH balanced because it's just how skincare works on the skin. It's got to be pH balanced to do the job it needs to do. However, what you find pH balance means the majority of cases nowadays, a brand will put pH balance on their cleansers in particular to tell you that it's non-stripping, it's non-drying, it's going to work with your skin. And I do always choose a cleanser with beneficial ingredients because they do still work on your skin. Cleansers aren't just a wash away product that goes down the drain and has no benefit other than cleansing your skin. Actives can work in cleansers. So yeah, I would dry myself out and be like, look at my pores, they're tiny. And then like 2 hours later, I'd be oily as all hell again. One cleanser I'm trying out at the moment and really enjoying is the Matcha Biome Amino Acne Cleansing Foam. I don't have acne, but I am breakout prone. And this cleanser basically ticks all the above boxes. But matcha and green tea are ingredients that I love in pretty much everything and have actually some evidence to back up the fact that they can reduce the appearance of enlarged pores. They've always help with my pores. Like any green tea toner, Innisfree's green tea seed serum was one of my favorite serums. I don't know why I stopped using it, and my pores would always look amazing. And that is the same with this cleanser. This cleanser contains their matcha biome, which is essentially fermented matcha and probiotics. So it's calming, soothing, we get antioxidant, but it's also helping protect our skin barrier. Plus the possible minimization of our pores. All in a gentle cleanser that washes away all the excess sebum and oil without stripping your skin. Let's move on to masking. I have to be honest, masking isn't my favorite step, but it depends what I'm using. Reusable sheet masks, I love. Eye masks, I absolutely love as well. Clay masks, not so much, but clay masks are one of those things where if you do want an instant look of smaller looking pores without getting greasy and oily later down the line with a particular type of mask, a clay mask is something you might want to invest in. You don't even really have to invest, they're very affordable. But I usually don't like using clay masks because they can dry you out so quickly and so easily, and that does make your pores look temporarily smaller. But as I said, drying out oily skin or drying out skin in general, my sebum just comes back like tenfold with a vengeance, you know? But clay masks, in all fairness, have come a very long way, and a lot of them don't even dry on the face before you have to wash them off. They don't leave you with that like cracking skin, you know, where it's all dry and you're like, and you have to crack it all off. They don't do that anymore. I feel like you can hack any clay mask, whether they're drying or not, with a very simple technique. You get all the benefits of a clay mask, including those smaller looking pores, without the dryness and without the flakiness. First of all, you need a clay mask that isn't going to dry you out. As I said, a lot of clay masks don't dry you out nowadays anyway. A lot of them do things like infuse hyaluronic acid into the kaolin or bentonite clay, so they don't dry you out. A really nice non-drying one is this Mary and May Cica Tea Tree Soothing Wash Off Pack. I've only used this once or twice, but with clay masks, you get the benefits pretty much instantly. This one combines Cica and tea tree, so it's soothing, calming. If you've got breakout prone skin, again, this is a really good kind of like, leave it on for 10 minutes as a treatment. So my clay mask hack, which I'm pretty sure loads of people do actually, cleanse the skin, make sure it's dry, but then I go in with toner, quite a generous layer of toner, and kind of pat that in, and I allow a little bit of toner to sit on my skin. I then apply my clay mask over the top of slightly toner damped skin. It's usually just my T-zone because that's where I really want to concentrate on reducing the appearance of those enlarged pores. I leave for around 10 minutes or just before you can feel the clay mask drying out. As I said, most of them, including this one, don't really dry out anymore. And then I use a washcloth to kind of pat that away to rinse it off. I find that when people online are removing clay masks, they take a washcloth or like a halo and they scrub at their skin and they're left with kind of bothered red skin. If you just pat the flannel or washcloth on your face, it will just rinse away without any effort, and then you can even massage gently to wash that away, and then you're left with that soothed, calm, smaller pored looking skin. This mask in particular has like ground up centella, so you do get a really kind of like almost gentle exfoliation, while centella is actually in the mask itself, giving you a very nice soothing effect. Follow that up with your serums and your moisturizer. Okay, I have to put this mask in here because it is a cult classic. If you know K-Beauty, you know this product. And I've been talking about mainly oily skin, but as someone with dry skin, it's still important to keep your skin moisturized. I have dry skin and very sensitive cheeks. This is from shaving. And I know if I don't keep my cheeks hydrated and or moisturized, my pores look very big, especially along here. And keeping your skin moisturized is a really, really good way to just keep your pores looking healthy. Skin Food. This is the Skin Food Rice Bran Water Rice Daily Brightening Mask Wash Off. Skin Food's whole thing is like doing skincare with food, but not in an annoying way. Like every food product that they focus on actually has benefits backed up by science. And as I said, this mask is really for those with drier skin. If you have dry skin, I would avoid bentonite, kaolin clay, and go for those softer, creamier masks. This one uses rice bran water to help brighten the skin, even skin tone, and has little very, very fine, always sand-like granules in to help gently exfoliate as you rinse away. Exfoliation, of course, is crucial for reducing appearance of enlarged pores as well. Let's talk about exfoliants, actually. This is one of the most important, in fact, vital ways of keeping your pores looking healthy. Tighter, clearer. We know this, we have to remove dead skin from the surface, otherwise we get congested, we get blackheads. Blackheads can lead to more enlarged pores. We also need to get into the pores to break everything down. And we know, to put it very, very simply, AHAs work great on the surface of our skin, evening tone and texture, and get rid of those dead skin cells. BHA works great going a little bit deeper, clearing out all that excess sebum, clogged pores, congestion. Again, for the sake and size of our pores, we want to avoid irritation and inflammation. So I love Korean toners that combine gentle exfoliation with hydration. I swear I talk about this in every video. The Benton Aloe BHA Skin Toner, again, a cult classic, a favorite of Korean skincare lovers. It contains 0.5% salicylic acid, which is such a gentle amount, making this a great everyday toner. My philosophy when it comes to exfoliation for me personally and my skin and how my skin reacts is gentle but more often. So those with oily skin are gonna love this toner. The aloe provides a really nice hydrated, moisturized feel and look to the skin. And there's a finish without being heavy or sticky. This is very similar just to every kind of slightly thicker daily toner that we know and love. We also have snail secretion filtrate, so great for your skin barrier. And those with drier skin can use this as well. As I mentioned, it's gonna really, really hydrate, soothe, and gently exfoliate whilst keeping your skin looking plump, keeping those pores looking tight. Hydration, exfoliation combined, one of the best things I've ever done for the size and appearance of my pores. So why I always talk about hydration. Why is hydration important? And again, hydration, one of the most important things for the appearance of my pores. And I'll repeat this time and time again, it's probably the simplest but one of the most effective things you can do for the appearance of your pores and overall look of your skin, really. Obviously, it keeps your skin looking nice and plump and healthy looking, but enlarged pores are one of the most obvious signs of dehydrated skin. Have you ever gone on like a night out, like a really crazy weekend away, and you get back home, or like the next morning you wake up hungover and you look at yourself in the mirror and you look like a sponge. You can count the pores on your skin. They look huge. I was really sick recently, like really sick. I didn't do my skincare for maybe like a week. I was that sick. I was trying to drink water, but I had, other issues. So I was dehydrated, and my pores, I could count them. My skin was suffering. The moment I started hydrating my skin again, it was like a relief. It was like, we always say, like a big drink of water for your skin, and my skin felt so much better and looked so much better. And of course, well-hydrated skin not only looks and feels great, but functions properly and could potentially delay the signs of aging, which include saggier, stretchier, flatter looking pores. Flat? What do I mean by that? I don't know. You know where they're like this? I don't know. I don't know, So look for toners with emollients and humectants and moisturizing ingredients as well. Some of my favorites are cactus water, hyaluronic acid, glycerin, and rice, of course. This toner is a firm favorite of mine. I've done quite a few bits of content with this toner, but now they have a fragrance-free version. This is the Haru Haru Wonder Black Rice Hyaluronic Toner, fragrance-free version. The other one smells like lavender, which a lot of people aren't really into that. I'm not into lavender as a scent, really. It was pretty non-intrusive, but this is basically an intensively hydrating toner packed with hyaluronic acid, betaine, glycerin, skullcap root. I love using this in a few ways. So as I mentioned, when I've been extremely dehydrated, I like to leave this on the skin, almost like a mini mask. So I'll soak some cotton pads, slap that on my skin, and then let my skin kind of like drink that up. Toner in many different ways is just like one of the best things I feel personally you can do for the appearance of enlarged pores and keep your skin looking smooth and minuscule pored. And these like little point masks really help soothe those angry, dehydrated, inflamed, irritated areas. So I wouldn't just pop down to like Boots or CVS and grab yourself a toner or an astringent, because, some of them are still drying. I'm not going to say because of the alcohol, because even some of these ones have alcohols in, but because of the formulation, they're kind of like a lot more drying. Get yourself in Style Korean and get yourself a thick toner, or skin as they're sometimes called, and apply daily in layers. Just feed your skin, wet your skin, hydrate your skin, and the difference you're going to see in a short amount of time, for me as well, like a month, is going to be worth it. Okay, let's finish on a super effective yet controversial product. Kind of. Let's talk about nose pore strips. I used to think nose pore strips were the worst thing you could ever use. I was told that they can make your pores larger, that they rip away skin, and in some cases that's true. But I think it was Dermangelo, who was actually one of the first dermatologists I saw, kind of speak out against this and say, you know what? Nose pore strips aren't necessarily bad when used properly, and once every so often. However, what these nose pore strips aren't doing is removing the blackhead or sebaceous filament from the root, just cutting them in half, and they can potentially give you the appearance of smaller pores. There are some nose pore strips I absolutely love and will continue to use, but there are some that you do pick up in a pharmacy, like the extra strong ones, that just actually, when you look at your nose after, make your pores look bigger, angrier, inflamed. But I still want that satisfaction of seeing all that gunk come out of my nose after using nose pore strips. But I've talked about something similar on this channel before. This is the Mary & May Daily Safe Blackhead Clear Nose Mask. Now, this is a 2-step routine, and I have no idea how this works. If anybody knows how this works, please let me know. I've looked at the ingredients. I don't get it, but they just work. You put one strip, the first strip, on your nose, and you kind of feel like this cooling sensation. And what this does is brings all that gunk and sebaceous filaments to the surface of your nose. When you remove that from your nose, you can see all that like surface gunk on your nose, and you can wipe it away with one of the black cotton buds that they supply. You just wipe away all that excess gunk, and then you put the second strip on, the last step, and this is kind of like an aftercare thing. It kind of makes your pores feel like you're ending the job. You obviously can't open and close pores, but it feels like you're shutting them down, you're not letting anything else get in or out, and your nose is clean and cared for. I love these. I've used a few ones like this before, but I do like this multi-step one. There are ones that are just pads that you put on your nose and then you wipe away and then you're kind of done. But I do like the multi-step kind of like extract, then close down, you know? But these work so well. They give all the effectiveness of that satisfaction of seeing gunk come out your nose, actually seeing smaller looking pores and a cleaner looking nose without any of the damage. I love these types of products, and this product, this brand in particular, I think do it best. Who was the other one? Elizavecca? Piggy nose, something like that. But yes, I love those. But yeah, I hope that's helped. Those really are, for me, just the yes and no's of what kind of works. I don't think there's any magic tip, hack, ingredient, product, but these are the types of products and techniques that I use just to like live with, really, to help my pores look clearer, smaller, in the long run. I've got enlarged pores, like permanent enlarged pores on my face, that to be honest, I don't care about because we've all got texture, we've all got open pores. But in general, tighter, smaller looking pores means you're taking good care of your skin. So leave your tips, tricks in the comments down below. All the products in today's video will be in the description box. And thank you again to Style Korean for sponsoring today's video. You can watch some general light entertainment here, some more product reviews here, and I'll see you next time.